So welcome to the third phase for this Pandas library, and we are now left with how to deal with the Excel and CSV data. So let's begin. Okay. So now I have this two sample files for you guys. So if you see carefully, I have one CSV file and I have one Excel file. So this is CSV file. Let me open it. So I have this data which has name, gender, age, date, and the country. So this is the sample data which I download from Google. Just download any sample data, right? And I have this uh, Excel data, and let's open it. Just try to show you. So we have this sales order data over here, and that's it. Okay, so I have one CSV data and one Excel data. So now let's do some coding. Okay, so first of all, what I will do is I will import numpy as np and import pandas as pd, right? Forget this. Let's first of all understand the CSV. CSV. First of all, we have to read how to read the CSV file. I will create a data frame. Df is equal to pd dot type read. Then press tab. Then you see. Now see carefully. As I discussed with you previously as well, that you can read a lot of data format with your pandas. Just give me a second. Okay, yeah, sorry. So I was saying that you can read a lot of data. So you can see, like, you can read with the clipboard, CSV, Excel, right? And majorly this session is all about how to read the CSV and how to read the Excel. So I will type CSV. So let's say now I want to import this CSV file, right? So I will go over there, and this is the new test data.csv. Let's select this entire path, come over here and type this. But if you remember, in our first or second session, I told you about this backslash, that sometimes if you see backslash t, so we all know that it is like the escape characteristics. Similarly, backslash n, it is also the escape characteristic which will basically take your line to the next line basically. So to save ourselves from these escape characteristics, we always type r over there in terms of a string. So now I can import this. Now if you type df, so I can now read the entire data. So we can see, like, it has 15,000 rows with 6 columns of data. So this is your entire data. You know what? There is a way through which you can read only first 5 values. So what you have to do is just type df.head, and now you can see the first 5 values, so that you just want to see that how does your data looks like. Okay, so now if I want to read my entire data, I will type df.info. Now I can see, so see over here, I know that there are 15,000 rows, but I can see that only 5,000 something has not null values. It means there are a lot of rows which has null values. Make sense? So what I will do is I will drop them, drop na, right? And I will in place is equal to true. So I'm just trying to do the just data manipulations, right? So that's how my df now looks like. It has now 5,000 rows. So now if I check my data frame again, so 5,257, 5257. So now there are not any kind of null values that exist. Make sense? So this is my data frame. Now let's say what I will do is that I am only interested in this data for the ages which are, let's say, greater than 50. So what will I type? So I will type df, and within that I will type df greater than 50. Makes sense? But now over here it gives me an error because I have to define 50 of what? Df of this age column. So age greater than 50, and I can see this data. Okay, and let's say we call this data as df above 50. Let's call it this. Okay, so now if I type df above 50, that's how it looks like. Super simple, no rocket science. So now let's say you do any kind of manipulations that we have discussed in our last two phases, the first and second phase of pandas. So we input this CSV. Now if I want to export this CSV, okay, so now let's say I am interested in this data frame that I have created. This is my final output. Now I want to throw this as a CSV file as an answer. So I will type again this CSV, this data frame name, then dot to underscore CSV. Then within this bracket, I will type the file path name. Now see carefully. When we import, we type pd.read underscore CSV. When you are exporting the specific data frame, you will type to underscore CSV. Okay. So always remember to underscore CSV. Now within that, I have to give the file path within this R brackets. Okay. So let's say if I want to save this file over here, so just copy this folder path, put it over there, then put backslash over there, then type the name of the file that you want to create. So let's say I want the name to be results1.csv. So do not forget to type .csv, because you have to tell your Python that you are saving it as a .csv. And if you type .xlsx, it will not work, because over here you have written to underscore CSV. Make sense? So now if I trigger this, so if I open this, you can see the new file has been created, results1. So if I open this, so you can see this is my answer, where the age is greater than 50 that we have selected earlier as well. Makes sense? So this is clear up to this point. Okay, so let's close this. But if you see carefully that this new column has been added, which is the index, and I am not interested in this one. And if I, let's say I want to delete this one as well, I am not interested. This is an index that is created by default, and this is the column which is already there. So let's remove. How to do that? Get back to the code. I have closed my file. It is still there. So this is my df above 50, right? Let's say I will drop the column that is sr dot, and axis is equal to 1 because this is column, and in place is equal to true because I want to make it permanent. So now it is, so now if I try to find the df above 50, that's how it looks like. Make sense? And these are our index, and we all know how to reset the index df. Now you can type just reset index and do this. So you see now it is now 0 1 2 3 something. So these are all the things that we have covered in our previous two sessions. This session is all about how to import the Excel or CSV and how to export them. So this is my data now. Now df above 50. So now I will export this again in the same path, exact same file. So basically what will happen, that it is going to overwrite them. And one more thing, by default this index will also be there. And if I want to remove it, if I want to remove this, how to do that? You can just type index is equal to none, and now I can check this results. So the results has been updated. You can see the name, gender, age, date, country. Super simple. Make sense? So that is how you can import the CSV, and you can do your calculation and export your result as a CSV. Make sense? Let's come to the second file, sample data, which is an Excel. And within this Excel, I am interested in this sales orders tab name, worksheet tab name. Okay, so this is very important. Come back. So I will type now Excel. Let's understand how to import that. So I will type df is equal to pd.read underscore Excel this time, and R quotes, and within that pass your file path. So this is my this is my file path. Copy this, come back over here, comma. Now I will type the sheet name, sheet underscore name. What was the sheet name? That was sales orders. If you remember, that was within this Excel file. So import this, and now if I check my data frame, you see I have imported the entire data from this sheet sales orders over here, and I can see I have 42 values. And I can see all of them. Makes sense? So now let's say you want to create the pivot. Let's say first of all I want to see just first 5 values. So now let's create the pivot. I will type df.pivot table, where my values will be this total column. Okay, comma, my index will be the items. Okay, item. And let's say now my columns will be this region. Make sense? So region. And now if I take the round values of this, so you see now I can see the entire answer. So these are the, see, by default the aggregate function is mean, we have covered in our last session. aggregate function by default is mean. Okay, otherwise you can just apply ag function as numpy dot sum if you want, and you can get the summation. Super duper clear. Let's save it in a new one. Let's call it df new, and I have saved it in this variable now, df new, and I want to export this df new dot to underscore excel and put now the file path. Let's say I want to save this over there, copy this, put over here, backslash results 2 dot xlsx. Make sure you type this dot xlsx, and you can also give the sheet name as well that you want. So let's say I want to call my sheet name as output. Extract this. So what was the name that we have created? Results 2. Go over there, you can see the results 2. The Excel file has been created. What was the sheet name that we have given? That is output, and you can see your entire output over here. So you see how fast and quick the pandas, the Python is, and how quickly you can do all of the manipulation that you want, that we have learned in the last 2 sessions of this data analysis, complete data analysis that an actuary has to do. Over the period of time when you will become, you got a lot of experience in your career, you will be spending a lot of time in doing the data manipulations, because the modeling is all about that your models have been created and now you are triggering them, but to get into a specific format you are always involved in it. And from the valuations perspective, those people are highly involved in doing the data manipulations. So if you have the knowledge of Python, can you imagine how much process improvements that you can make in your company? So I hope that you all enjoyed this lecture, and we have completed our second library after NumPy, which was mathematical or numerical computation, and this one is complete data analysis. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.